taking place on Whirlwind. No, not Taldrum Altar.
Were you about to say it?
I was. We often...
Would be kind of cool if we just put him on Taldrum and be like, good luck, have fun.
Yeah, deal with it.
I don't think it would be a very good idea.
Well, Phoenixes are pretty good there. At least they used to be.
Maybe a little cannon rush action. Nothing wrong with that either.
Could be. Speedlink's pretty good there too. All right, guys, our players are in game. Let's go ahead and hop over to map number 2. Soulkey looks very strong on Frost. Can he repeat the feat? Spotting the top right-hand corner of Whirlwind, he is Soulkey! And his opponent in the top left map. The red Protoss player, Trap! It's a trap.
It's Soul Trap.
Man, whenever I hear Soul Trap, it reminds me of the Elder Scrolls series.
The what?
The Elder Scrolls series. It's a spell.
I know nothing about that, man.
Or you're missing out. It also reminds me a little bit of World of Warcraft because of Soul Tap.
It reminds me of the Russian Warcraft 3 player called Soul.
Okay. So it looks like we are going to see a Nexus first for Trap.
For a second, I thought that maybe he was going to try to drop an early Forge as well and try to spice things up a little bit. But he never sent out an additional probe. He was able to find Soulkey immediately, so this could definitely be useful. He might be able to delay that hatchery a little bit. He also knows that he can get away with a Nexus first, and it's completely safe. You can see Soulkey sending out that second drone. You think he's going to drop a pylon, Ben?
Well, I think he might.
I think he wants to drop the Nexus before he would potentially
actually, he
drop
goes Forge before Nexus, so I think he will drop the pylon.
That's kind of... Okay. This is just a super safe way. He absolutely does not want to deal with links in his natural. That's why he's getting the Forge before he even dropped the Nexus.
This is what I learned from MC Kev. I was like, MC, why would he go Forge instead of Nexus first? He says, because he wants pylon block. Stupid.
Yeah, I mean, those additional 80, 90 minerals is like a small time period, but it's super important. It's almost impossible to keep your probe alive in that time span while getting the Nexus and then also getting the pilot. And of course, you need to get a Forge as well, because if he just makes 8 links and he ignores your pilot and runs across the map, you could be in a lot of trouble if you were too happy with blocking. But Trap played it safe, and I would say it went pretty successful, Ben. He forced Soulkey to expand in a location that I think he read it didn't expand. But good news for Soulkey is that the first Overlord was heading into the right direction, and if he was worried about the gateway expand, he doesn't have to worry about it anymore.
Also means he doesn't expand towards his opponent. He instead expands away, which is of course what he prefers. Gives him more time, more space to deal with Protoss in the event of some kind of aggression. And
because he knows he's not playing against the gateway first, he's going 3 hatcheries before he drops an extractor. He did of course have the early spawning pool, but still very economic opening here for Soulkey. He's probably going to wait even a little longer with dropping those hatches. And even though Trap did a reasonable job in blocking the hatch and delaying it a little bit, his Nexus was also a little bit later, which also meant that like his gateway was later, and also even got the cannon I think before the gate. So Trap played is very safe, and I think if I'm Soulkey, I'm already quite pleased with how this is going, because it's a pretty good idea of what's going on.
Yeah, a good start for our Zerg player. Of course, Trap's going to feel comfortable too, as he's been able to do just basically what he wanted.
Now in the break I was thinking, what would be the best thing that Trap could possibly throw at Soulkey? And the way that Soulkey scouted on Frost, it seemed almost impossible to try to hide something from him, because it just doesn't really work. The 2-base attacks we saw earlier today are not really a way to finish off Soulkey either. Now I do think that Trap is good enough to win late game against Soulkey. He just has to find a way to actually get there without being too far economically behind and still having some ways of being able to be aggressive as well.
Still no gas for our Zerg player. It's getting a little late, Kev. You usually want to get your gases around this time.
I guess he's going to drop it in the near future, but he will be very pleased when he finds out that it's a Stargate opening, unless it's a Stargate into 7 additional gates, which I don't think is something that Trap would throw at Soulkey. I'd be very surprised if he does. Soulkey is going to be more than happy with the fact that he delayed his extractors a little bit and mined as many minerals as possible.
Yep. Double gas goes ahead and goes down for Soulkey. Looks like he is going to go ahead and proceed into the next phase of his build. I expect to see a Roach Worm pretty soon, but it's a Stargate opening for Trap. Phoenixes or Oracle?
Could be a little bit of both. So far everything is good. That's relatively quick +1. See if he wants to line anything up with those Phoenixes. We will see.
Yeah. Probe Scout going to get shut down. It is a Phoenix opening. Phoenix is on this map, something you're pretty familiar with, right?
Yep, I played it a lot. I like it. It's something that Liquid Hero still does pretty often as well. It's just, you know, it's pretty safe. You get a couple of Phoenixes, you are guaranteed to do a little bit of damage. You're going to snipe a few Overlords, maybe pick up a Queen. You're going to force out some Spore Crawlers. It's all kind of indirect damage, but it does all count. And it gives you a lot of map vision as well. You won't get too surprised. But there are many ways to go after the first Phoenixes. You know, do you want to go crazy and want to stay on 2 bases? Well, Ben.
Whoa.
Well, Ben.
Whoa.
The last thing that I said I expected is actually happening. Trap taking a note out of Maxet's playbook.
4, 5 extra gateways going down for our Protoss player. 6 gate Phoenix.
6 gate +1. A lot of additional drones going down. The Roach one is on the way as well. Zergling speed is being researched. Already 58 workers. This pipeline is going up over here on the south side of the map, which Soulkey is at the moment completely unaware of.
It's time for Soulkey to start making units. Literally, if he doesn't start producing units soon, he's going to be in trouble. He's making drones. Where's that first warp in? Whoa, does he see it?
Yep, he does.
And 4 roaches instantly.
I think from this point on, it's only going to be units for Soulkey for quite a while, because he's kind of worried, obviously, because he hasn't been able to look into the main base for a little while.
8 roaches. God, Soulkey's game sense is unbelievable. So many Zergs would be droning right now. I would be droning right now, but I'm terrible.
I'm feeling pretty worried. Oh my god, and these Zerglings are going to find this pylon as well. And now...
If he wasn't sure before, he's damn sure now. Although we do see him make a couple more drones. Here comes those sentries, and if Soulkey spots this, you can count on a huge swell of Hydras.
He made additional drones. I might actually be slightly overdoing this, Ben. He's going up to 67 workers. He's still unaware of these sentries. Sentries are
now
amazing,
he sees
but
them.
The Phoenixes can help out as well.
A few roaches are going to get picked up. Soulkey's got to get out of there, and he knows it. The force fields are perfect.
Force fields.
These roaches want to kill as many roaches, or as many sentries as they possibly can before they are all shredded, but it's not going to be much. 2 sentries fall, and now it's going to be all sentry, stalker, Phoenix for our Protoss player.
13 roaches on the way. Oh, there's barely anything for Soulkey at the moment, but there are Queens and Spores to buy a little bit of time. And Trap doesn't have the vision that we have. Every second that ticks by, this army is going to be big from Soulkey soon.
Another Spore Crawler moving forward. Force fields on the ramp are not going to cut anything off. Drones are here. So it's going to be drones with roaches. They're going to help a lot, Kevin. And if he can buy time, if he can stabilize, Soulkey will be okay. He's doing a good job, but the warp ins continue.
Those were not the force field that Trap needed, and it's going to be very hard to make it work because there's so much DPS in this army from Soulkey.
Sir, here we go. Drones absorbing all the damage from the Zealots, and he's going to push Trap all the way up the ramp. A few drones will go. Oh, there's a gap, and the drones get away.
I don't know who oiled those drones this morning, Ben, but they slipped through everything. And Trap is in a world of trouble.
Creep is obviously very slippery. As these Phoenixes are going to take some damage from the single Spore Crawler and the Queens, and this attack has been stopped. A beautiful defense by Soulkey. Made it look easy.
Yep.
Oh, maybe not easy, because it was stressful.
For everyone besides Soulkey.
Yeah, he's probably yawning in the booth right now.
Yeah, he's like, oh, I have to boom my drones again. Protoss players, they keep trying. How cute.
Hashtag less impressed than Flash.
Double Robo is the follow-up, and the Twilight Council going down as well, so I think this is going to be like 2 bases forever. An eventual Muta switch could hit very hard against this double Robo switch.
Get Elfie out of the player booth.
Elfie out there is very excited about the upcoming 3 minutes. Are we going to see additional probes being warped in or not? Doesn't seem to be the case.
Looks like not. Blink on the way, more upgrades on the way. Warp Prism now. Okay, that's a good choice.
I mean, he was at least able to save most of these gateway units. That's something. He wasn't stubborn and tried to make it happen after he knew it wasn't going to work anymore. RoboBay is going to go down as well, but Soulkey wouldn't be Soulkey if he's already sending in another Overseer.
And now he's going to try to hit a little bit of a timing when there are no units in position. Roach is going to walk right into the natural. This is big trouble. This cannon's going to go right down, and a few of these probes are sure to die. Oh, man.
He spots both Robos, even drops the Contaminate as well. These roaches will get picked up, but Soulkey is going to have
Look at all the
more
damage they're going to deal.
money.
One of these Stalkers is going to fall, more probes are going to die. These roaches have been super effective.
Nothing is going Trap's way. Trap tried to trap a couple of these roaches on the ramp, but not even that is working out. And at the same time, Soulkey is just making sure he ain't going up to 3 bases. Oh man.
Finally, these roaches get force fielded off, and they do get cleaned up. But meanwhile, Soulkey starts his Swarm Host upgrade. He's going to begin to make that transition. Trap stuck on 2 bases. This is not a happy position for a Protoss player.
Nope. These Phoenixes will be able to pick off a couple of Hydras here and there, still able to pick off a few Overlords, but Soulkey is just severely outmining his opponent. Those Swarm Hosts are going to be awesome. I personally think that like dropping the Spire and getting Mudas would have been very scary too, but there are already quite a few Stalkers out on the map, and +2 is being researched, so Soulkey's probably like, why take the risk? Oh!
Well, hit the Warp Prism. You want to hit the Warp Prism? He will focus it down, but not before a few Zealots are warped in. Unfortunately, this is not going to be enough for Soulkey to do any, or for Trap to do any real damage.
Well, that would have actually could have been game changing if he was able to get a couple of additional sentries.
Good control on these Hydras, by the way. It's so hard to micro Hydras, but Soulkey does it with expert precision. Loses a couple drones, but deals with it.
Trap still did not produce any additional workers, so it's pretty obvious he wants to stay on 2 bases for a while. He has 1 Colossus, I think, or maybe he has 2 of them already, and I think 1 more is on the way. So he's going to have to make a big push with a lot of force fields, 3 Colossi. Swarm Hosts are extremely scary, but maybe if he has like 4 Colossus, he's able to deal with the Locust.
Gonna be tough, man. He's down 50 army supply. Soulkey has done this so well. He's made it look so easy. And I'm starting to get very excited, Kev, at the prospect of a Soulkey versus Deer final.
What happens when 2 players that just can't possibly lose play against each other?
I think the venue's just going to collapse with awesome, which is both amazing and tragic at the same time.
136 supply for Soulkey against the 92 of Trap. Trap's army is a lot stronger than it was with the first push. He's once more going to try to make some harassment possible.
Oh man,
Swarm Hosts are going to knock on his front door.
Right outside the natural, and this is the official most frustrating thing in the world for a Protoss player. As free units for days, Kev, are going to begin to bust down the front door. Warp Prism is unloading in the main base, and there's a big warp in with it.
Yeah, dealing quite a bit of damage. Might be able to pick up this Evolution Chamber as well, dropping force speed. Soulkey is maxed out as well. Perhaps that's why he's sacrificing a couple of units.
Yep.
Because he needs to get units in his main, because he needs to deal with these Zealots. The Hive actually taking a lot of damage.
It might go down, and this is the first step to getting back in this game. Trap with a great pickoff. Roaches are going to try to chase away the sentries, but how is he ever going to get out of... Oh, Soulkey's given up on that position. Interesting. Trap making a huge play there, has bought himself some space. Still, there's no third.
With 4 Colossus, there are still 5 sentries as well. 5th Colossi is on the way. I think Spire is halfway done.
Another
Trap is able to pick up this 4th base as well.
That would be huge. Suddenly, Soulkey not only losing expansions, but also losing larva production, critical larva production in this phase of the game. Spire has gone down.
A little bit of Ling run by, but there is a Colossi here.
Yep, he's got this on lockdown.
Which was by accident.
Roosted. As Trap continues to try and bring it back. 136 Protoss supply against 190 of Zerg. Soulkey did lose that expansion in the bottom half of the map, Kev.
Soulkey's suddenly not all that rich anymore. He still has a little bit of money left, but he lost that 4th base. He lost his main earlier. And this army is pretty scary. Of course, Soulkey still with a massive army supply advantage, but with all these sentries, maybe something is possible for
This
Trap.
Roach counterattack's pretty scary. Colossus gets focused. He will go down. Yes, he does. And a second Colossus pops out at an inopportune time. I don't know if he's going to die, though. Roach is trying to micro a little bit. Oh, he is going to clean it up.
Barely stays alive. One of the other Colossi was misrallied.
Saves 1, loses none. Barely keeps 2 Colossi alive. Very important for Trap. He has also planted a 3rd base, which will be instrumental in his staying in this game.
Soulkey pretty much spent all his gas now on all of these Corruptors. I think he has 9 on the way in total. Time warps are going down. There are 5 Colossi here. Trap is still down 50 supply, but maybe...
Look at the engagement from Soulkey coming in from every side. Corruptors also joining the fight. These Colossi have no protection. They are going to get focused down, and Soulkey cleans it up. Trap is he's in an impossible position. Yes, he's still doing work with these Zealots, but Soulkey will clean up that attack. He's retaken his main base, and with only Blink Stalkers I don't know how Trap is going to stop this army, which is 100 supply larger than his own.
And is also heading towards the third base. The only thing that Trap was sort of holding on to, as he obviously mined out his main, and his Natural is starting to run a little thin as well. Here come a lot of roaches, a lot of hydras.
Here comes the Zerg army. Zealot's still trying to be effective around the map. Soulkey just wants to break down these rocks and deny this third base. Roach is cleaning up the Zealots. Here comes the main army of the Zerg. Pushing up into that third base. Trap is falling all the way back to his natural. He's going to make no effort to defend this Nexus.
Soulkey still being maxed out is going to be able to take this base out easily. I was so surprised, man, that Trap decided to attack on that moment when he, was finally starting to catch a break.
Corruptor's coming forward again. One Colossus gets very low. The other down below half health as well. Blinkstalker's trying to save the day, but it's not going to happen. The Colossi will fall. And good game gets called.